Hey everybody, Bones here, Bonez Garage. Just bringing you an update what's going on at the garage. So, 1966 Chevelle SS 396 big block. Lots of horsepower on that motor right there. Supposedly, it was dynoed at over 600 horsepower. Don't know because when it came in, it was not running at all well. It was just spitting and coughing. If you push on the gas pedal, the motor would just ping like crazy. You heard the timing was somebody had set the timing totally wrong on this thing. So the owner was just getting sick and tired of all the problems and bringing it back and then bringing it in, and they wouldn't fix what was wrong and other problems happened, so blah, blah, blah. Called me up, asked us if we could take care of it for him. So we told him no problem. One of the big complaints again was when you push on the gas pedal, it pings like crazy. So the timing we know was way advanced, way off. Another problem he had was the radiator was overheating the car. So we went ahead, took the radiator out, cleaned it all out, put a fan shroud on it, and then put 2 electric fans on it. They also had a long water pump on here. And the problem with the long water pump is that the pulley for the water pump would hit the fans for the radiator. So we ended up going with a short water pump, and then we went with a whole new belt system, an accessory drive system. You can see we got a new alternator, new power steering pump. We got rid of the old style power steering pump with the reservoir up here, and then all the line work that went with it. There was a lot of hoses and everything. We've had the car about 2 weeks already. We're redoing a bunch of stuff on it. The wiring on this car was atrocious. Okay, I'll just leave you with this. That's the way they had everything wired in this car. Just wires hanging everywhere. Nothing wrapped, nothing clean. The wiring to the fan, part of it is still here, but we got rid of the rest of it. If you would have seen the way they had these fans wired in, and the amount of money that the gentleman who had this car paid, they didn't even have a thermostat on this fan setup. So you had to turn the fans on from inside the car. And if you forgot they were on, then it would kill your battery. Or if you forgot to turn them on, the car would overheat excessively quick. So we're fixing all of that. We also gave him a new master cylinder because they never painted the master cylinder. So it was rusting. I mean, the car doesn't even have 100 miles on it yet. The reservoir for the clutch was mounted right up on the firewall. Well, what happens there is the brake fluid comes out, hits the paint, and peels all the paint off. So we built a plate for it. You see the plate towards the back of there, right? That's the plate. And then we put some standoffs on it to push the master away from the firewall. So this way, if it does drip down, it'll drip down and just fall to the floor. Nothing harm, no problems with that. And again, the wiring in this car was horrible. We have rewired everything. The headlights, all the wiring was falling out. They didn't even work. You would turn the headlights on, the one headlight over there would come on, these 3 would go on, and they would be like just dim. You just see the light going on. The turn signals did not work at all. The running lights did not work, so we fixed all of that. The brake lines were run through the frame. I don't know whose idea that was, but they had rubber hose running through the frame with sharp edges. So we took all that apart, fixed it, put the correct mounts on it, made everything right for that. They had a jumper for the heater core. So we ran the heater core or the heater hoses correctly, the way they're supposed to be run. This is going to mount right here like that on the fender well. So this way everything is nice. And this belt drive system, the accessory drive system, is absolutely beautiful. I really like this setup. It gives it a little bit of bling, but it keeps it with that old-time V-belt look. It's very nice. We're just setting everything up so all the belts are aligned, so the pulleys align with the pulleys. And everything is nice. So that's what we're doing with that now. Then on the interior, we went in there and we're putting gauges in. He asked us to put a nice set of gauges underneath. And that's what we did. So we got him a nice set of VDOs. We got a nice plate that holds it so it matches all the rest of the matte black in here. And we also got the gauges with a chrome bezel, black face, white lettering. So we couldn't get it with the original gold, green style lettering like the originals would have, but we got it so it's at least close and it looks like it's supposed to be here. So you can see how nice they look next to each other. Very nice. We just got one more gauge we're waiting for. It's on order. It will be here when it gets here. I don't know when that's going to be. We put a new fuel pedal in for him because the old one was just that old and it didn't work very well. All the linkage was worn out, so we just went ahead, got a cable style fuel pedal, put it in, and we're done with that. Then we went under the dash, which was a real mess under there, and we have organized a lot of the wiring under the dash, because let me tell you, it was just absolutely terrible. That's the switch for the fan. So that's what you had to turn on every time you got in the car to get the fans, the cooling fans, to go on, which they were mounted right to the radiator, so it really wasn't cooling the radiator. You need a fan shroud, so this way the whole radiator gets air sucked through it. So we also put some brackets in to push the seat back a little bit because he's a taller guy and the seat was a little bit too close for him. So we put these brackets in that move the seat back about 3 inches, which is really nice. Even for me, it was a nice change, a nice help. So that was that for the interior. And again, you need a fan shroud. See this shroud right here? This shroud covers the whole radiator assembly. So when the fans go on, they pull air through the whole core of the radiator, not just the spot, like right here, not just the spot where the fan is, but even in the corners out over here when you have the shroud in. So when you just have fans mounted to a radiator, all that's cooling is that area where the fan is. So let's say with these two fans, those two fans right there will cool probably about 60% of the radiator. So you still have another 40% of the radiator that's not getting cooled. You need that, especially with a big block, high compression motor. This thing already runs hot. So it's very important to have that kind of stuff. And then there was a bunch of work we did underneath, rerunning lines, put new stuff, put all new wiring. I mean, there was a lot. We even went ahead and fixed his cables for his battery because whatever, they were using some crap cables and they would just constantly fall off. So we got good cables, put those on there, and good terminals. And just are rewiring, refixing, making everything right. This car, he lives 15, maybe 20 minutes away. It took him well over 2 hours to get here because the car kept having issues. So that really tells you the mechanical work that was done on this. Another thing we have done is we ran a hard line for his fuel line up to a gauge with a filter in it. You have to have a fuel filter, always. They need fuel filters to keep all the dirt and crap out of your carburetor. We also took the ugly rubber line that was here and ran a nice hard line. So this way it's very neat, it's very organized. We ran the brake master, the brake power booster, we ran a hard line to that because the cam is so big that we have a vacuum pump right over there. So that runs all the way across to that, behind the fender. So you can't see it. Everything is in where it's supposed to be. So this car is really coming out nice. It's going to be very nice. I'm really looking forward to finally being able to drive this car and go for a ride with the owner, because he has spent a lot of time and money on this car and is very disappointed in everything that has been done to it. So he's given us the chance to get it right for him, and that is what we're going to do. We will get this car right. We will make this car as reliable as a 1966 Chevelle 396 can be. You know, they're old cars. They always need something. So there you go, guys. We've had it for a couple of weeks. We've done a lot of work on this thing. I'm sorry I haven't gotten videos on it beforehand, but we have just been so busy at the shop. It's been a lot of work. So anyhow, that's about it for today. Talk to you soon. Have fun. Okay, bye.